stress. That will be the main topic. And how the whole thing will do is that we'll do a few short meditation for the people who are very new here and never did anything like this before. I will give a very short introduction, what is mindfulness and how do you do that and stuff like that. Then we'll talk a bit about stress, what is stress, what kind of stress there is, how to deal with it, how we deal with it normally, and how mindfulness trainings advises us to deal with stress. So there will be a bit of theory, a bit of practice. If you have any questions or comments or anything, you can just write me a comment or a direct message and I'll reply that either now or a bit later. So if you're sitting at home, what you want to do is to find a very comfortable, nice place to do the meditation where you not be disturbed for this period of time that you're doing this. So for me, it's on the couch. I'm sitting cross-legged. I have a pillow under me, so my back is a bit more straight than usual. I have two pillows over here underneath my knees, so it's quite comfortable actually. If it's a bit cold, I have a jacket I can put on. So make yourself comfortable. You can lay down if you want to during the meditations. I do not really advise that, as you most likely will fall asleep. But if that's the goal, go ahead. Okay. So for those who never saw me before and never went to other sessions, I am Alexander. I'm a psychologist and a mindfulness trainer. And I've been meditating for quite a while, and I found it really useful. So at some point I started to teach other people how to meditate, and I find a lot of people who are very excited about meditation and find them very useful for them. So mindfulness meditation is different a bit from other types of meditation and also similar to other types of meditation, but it's different in the main point that it's not religious. So we do not have any gurus or any religious rituals or any kind of deity that we try to focus on. We just focus on, we base our knowledge on science and psychology. And in its essence, it's very simple. So it's 3 points. So it is placing attention on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgment. So on purpose means that you know where is your attention. Non-judgmentally means that you do not judge your experience. And in the present moment, it means not in the past and not in the future. It sounds very simple. A practice is a bit more complicated, but it's still quite simple. So we'll start with a very short kind of meditation, and then we'll proceed in a few more longer meditations a bit later. So make sure you have that comfortable place, you sit in a comfortable way, you have that pillows or meditation bench. So if you have some kind of meditation benches like this, use those. Find your comfortable place to do the exercises. Maybe inform other people that you will be not available or something like that. And then you can make sure your back is straight, and you can either lower gaze down or close your eyes, which is much comfortable most of the time. I will begin today's session. So just a very short pause. Make sure that you are here. Just check with the sensations you have. Maybe the sounds in your room. The temperature of the air around you. The smells. The posture of the body. just a few seconds. And then make a quick note that whatever you were doing before, you're not doing right now. Right now we're doing this. Something finished, something started. And may you be, and us, all of us, be open to this new experience. So you can now open your eyes. And to start with, for those people who never did meditate, we'll do a very short meditation, 10 minutes or less. It's called breathing meditation, and during it we focus our attention on the breathing. And it's quite simple in that sense. Though I will explain everything during the meditation. If you have any trouble breathing, so for example you have, I don't know, some problems breathing or pain breathing, make sure that you find a spot where it's not so painful. Maybe if it's painful in the chest, focus on your nose and so on. So find a very comfortable and very kind way to practice this meditation. So now again, find a posture, either by sitting or laying down. Standing could work too. And maybe making a few deep breaths through the nose and out through the mouth. And on the next in-breath, with the out-breath, you can gently close your eyes or lower your gaze. And then, just to kind of warm up your attention, place your attention on your body, on the way you're sitting, on that contact with the pillow, with the chair you're sitting in, or with the mat on the ground. Really focus on those sensations of sitting, of contact. Where exactly does your body press down under the surface beneath you? How does it feel like? Maybe feeling the contact with the legs and the surface beneath. Maybe feeling the arms gently placed up on your legs, on your sides. Being very curious about the experience, what it's like to feel the contact. It sounds trivial, but we rarely do focus on those sensations. And then becoming aware of your whole body, sitting here, or laying down here, or standing here. Feeling all the small, tiny movements your body does from moment to moment. Just let you live. Maybe the movements of the breath. Or maybe you feel your heartbeat. Maybe those tiny movements that allow you to stand still. Whatever that is. And then focus your attention on the breath. Maybe first, very generally. In which parts of the body do you feel your breath? feel it in your nostrils or the tip of your nose? And if so, notice the temperature of the air. It might be slightly warmer when you breathe out and slightly colder when you breathe in. Or you can feel the breath in your throat. And again, notice the temperature. Or it may be chest, the rising and falling sensation in the chest. Or in the belly. Expanding and contracting sensation in your belly. And then very gently choose an area where you feel the breath most strongly. Just one area where you feel your breath very clearly. And then follow your breath there for a few moments. Breathing in, breathing out, at your rhythm. There's no need to change anything at all. You do not need to breathe in a particular way. You don't need to analyze your breath. If you're breathing fast, that's okay. If you're breathing slowly, that's okay too. If your breath is shallow, that's okay. And if it's deep, that's also okay. Just noticing your breath. Inhalation and exhalation. Moment after moment. Very quickly we'll get distracted. Our minds are perfect machines to analyze, to remember, to plan. So the moment you just stop doing something, your mind will start doing something instead. So when you notice that, be very gentle, be very curious and playful about that. Maybe go like, oh, I'm thinking, I'm feeling, I got distracted. Oh, I'm aware again. Then bring your attention back to the breath in that area you chose. If you get distracted many times, that's okay too. That's perfectly fine. Just bring your attention many times back. There's really nothing else to do. Some people find it useful to count the breaths. It's not necessarily, and some teachers even say not to do that. But if it helps you, you can just count 1 on the in-breath and 2 on the out-breath, 3 on the in-breath, and so on, until you reach 10. And when you reach 10, you can start over. 1 on the in-breath, 2 on the out-breath. And if you lose count, just start from the last number you remember, or from 1. Being very kind to yourself when you get distracted. And at the same time, very calmly and firmly bring your attention back to the breath. And then when you're ready, bring your attention back to your body, to the way you're sitting, the way your body presses down, the gravity, to any sensations in the body, both positive and negative. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and end this exercise. So we did 10 minutes of very short meditation. Might be not so short for you, especially for those who never did anything before. So a common experience for people, different groups of people experience different things. So some people get sleepy during those even short meditations, and that's okay. If you're falling asleep, you can either open your eyes or move a bit. Just make sure you're being gentle about it. Another group of people find that their minds are very, very hyperactive. You have a lot of thoughts, plans, memories, and everything, just like a mix of everything. And that's also okay. Most of the time, that shifts and goes. Sometimes you feel sleepy, sometimes you feel hyperactive, and sometimes you feel super calm and zen. All of those experiences are fine. I think it's somehow similar to doing sports. So some days you feel like it, some days you don't feel like it, but you still do it. And some days the workout was just the same as yesterday, but today feels active and nice, and other days feels like sluggish and slow. So whatever your experience is, take it and use it, but don't overly attach to it. If you feel very calm this time, it might not be this next time. But if you feel very busy, it might be the next time you feel very calm. It comes and goes, and that's supernatural. So today's topic, as I said, is stress, and we'll talk about stress. And I think it's a very useful topic in our times when there's so much things going on and we can be very stressed about so many things, like about our families, about health, about financial things, about studies. So there's a lot of going on right now. So if you look at the stress, I think it's a useful example to make this very short visualization. So you can close your eyes or look somewhere. And imagine that you're walking somewhere. I know it's hard to imagine right now that you're walking outside, but imagine you walk outside right now. And imagine you're walking on a field, and there's on some road, there's a lot of fields. And then at some point you see in those fields a brown dot. And that as dot approaches you, you realize that that dot is a bull. So you realize there's a bull approaching you at full speed. So while you do realize that, your body already start acting. So your amygdala releases stress hormones such as adrenaline and noradrenaline, and your body prepares to a response reaction. So your heart starts beating fast, your lungs start to work harder, your liver releases glucose, your blood vessels next to your skin goes deeper, contracts, so if you get bruised or scratched on your kind of wounds, you will not bleed out so much. Your digestive system kind of stops or slows down. Your reproductive system also slows down, so stops. Your pupils dilate, so blood goes to your muscles. You have additional energy, additional oxygens in the bloodstream. So you're kind of very prepared, very alert, let's say. So imagine if that would be a bull, your body gets super prepared to either run away or hide somewhere, or if you feel like it and you're not very smart, you try to fight the bull, or if you're very experienced, maybe, I don't know. So you have some kind of reaction to that physical threat. So now go back and imagine you're still working those fields, there's nice grass, the sun shining, and then you see a dot approaching you, but at some point you realize it's not a brown dot, but a blue dot, and it's a police car. And a police guy comes out and tells you, like, this is forbidden area, and you're walking where you should not walk, and now you get a fine. So that's also a stressful situation, right? And your body will react in the same exact way. So your heart will start pumping faster, you'll start breathing faster, there's more energy, more glucose, more oxygen in the bloodstream, even your pupils would dilate and so on. So you'll have the same physical reaction to it, but there will be not such a physical threat. I mean, you can try to run away from a police guy or hide behind his car or try to fight him physically, but that will not be, a civilized way to solve it, I guess. You can tuck your way through, but even then you should be kind of calm, I would say, not aggressive or not too much scared, I guess. You can be scared, but you know what I mean. So, and that's a main problem of our modern age. So we have the bodies that are perfectly adapted to physical threats and to physically deal with those threats. So if you compare us with animals, they have physical threats, they run away, they fight, they freeze. Most of them run away or freeze, they don't fight as often because that's dangerous. But when they do that, they calm down. There's no threat anymore and they go down. We, on the other side, rarely nowadays deal with very physical dangers. Some of us do. Areas of the world it's more likely, but in Netherlands it's not as likely. And other part is that our mind that activates some stressors can imagine stress, can imagine something stressful, can imagine something scary, and our body reacts to those images the same way you would react to a physical threat, or a very similar way. So if you think about, I don't know, a financial problem, so your study, your deadlines, your reaction will be very, very physical, but the threat is non-physical, and you cannot deal clearly in those physical ways. So reactions, physical reactions to stress could be three ways. Those famous and well-known fight, flight, or freeze reactions. So, like I said, you can fight someone, like some physical threat, you can fight it, you can run away, or you can freeze and hide, expecting that the predator would not notice you. And that kind of works with physical and external things. So, I don't know, someone catcalls you on the street and you can go and punch that person, or hide, like pretend there's nothing happening, or run away if you feel very threatened. So that kind of will work out, right? But when we also try to apply the same principles to our internal life. So, for example, I might think about my deadline, like some deadline I have next week, right? And I will have all those physical reactions, like I'll feel stressed, my heart will pumping, I start breathing a bit faster. But there's little physical activity I could do. I mean, I can go and prepare for that deadline, that will be action, but imagine there's nothing to prepare, or there's just emotion that pop up, or I cannot prepare or do something right now, but I will still feel stressed. And I could apply the same principles of fight, flight, freeze to my emotions, and that's what commonly happens. So people start to fight the anxiety, or run away from the anxiety, or try to pretend the anxiety is not there, for example. So imagine a fighting could be suppressing the anxiety, and that is, scientific articles show that is very negative and demanding way of solving emotions. And most of them it's not even solving, just postponing them. Or I can try to freeze and pretend the emotion is there. I'm not stressed, I'm fine. You can quite often see those people who are not scared. I'm not scared, everything's fine. Or people try to run away, and that's very common, and maybe most common way of solving emotions right now. So imagine all those online services, for example, Netflix is a quite common way to run away from your emotions. So you feel sad, you feel bored, you feel anxious, and you just turn on another episode of your favorite series just to feel those things. What happens then, that those solutions we use do not really solve the emotions we have. So we just kind of start again and again those reactions, and they have no effect on us as much as we still feel stress. And long-term stress is known to really affect our health in a very negative way. So it's connected to depression and anxiety disorders, obviously, but it's also connected to health problems like stomach problems or faster aging and so on and so on. There's like a whole area of research on stress and some negative things. There's like a lot of research done, especially chronic stress, not acute, but chronic stress. So it really doesn't help us to kind of try to deal in old prehistoric ways to our modern stress. So what mindfulness offers is a slightly different way of dealing with it. They call it dancing around stress. Today I saw a term called befriend. Yeah, something like that, like befriend. And it's a slightly different, yet familiar maybe for many of you, way of dealing with the stress. So quite often what starts in that the person has to become aware that he is stressed. So first step is always like, oh, I'm stressed. The second step is compassion, and right now there's so much research on compassion being very useful in stressful situations. So people responding with compassion, with kindness to themselves and others in a stressful moment. So when you have that awareness, you have that gap, that you don't follow your automatic reaction, but have enough time to think about how do you want to respond instead of reacting. Quite often you can see that in some kind of personal relationship. If you have some kind of pattern with your friend, that you get in a fight on some topic, you can notice that your friend will say something that kind of isn't pleasant to you, and then you will kind of want to automatically react in your usual ways, and then your fights will just repeat themselves again and again and again. But if you take that pause and do not react, most often you have some time to respond in a different way. So that responding is what we seek in meditation practice, to create more space. And that means not reacting so fastly. So we have more space to respond to the stress or some kind of stressful situation. If you are a fan of Trevor Noah, the stand-up comedian, he has this situation with a pickup car driver, I think it was not a driver. So he was walking the street, a driver stopped him, he was walking through the cross line, and the driver was angry, and he called him N-word. I'll use, instead of N-word, Winnie. So he was like, get out of the way, Winnie. And for a black person, a turnover is an African descent person. That is a very normally annoying and pleasant situation. So, but instead of automatic reaction, he called this way, like shaking it with and mixing it with the love of Jesus. So instead of that, he just looked at him and he was like, hey, what's up, my Winnie? So he reacted in a completely different way, and the guy was like blown out. He'd never experienced anyone calling him the N-word back. And it's a completely different reaction. And both, like, that guy was like kind of, and Trevor feeling very empowered afterwards. And he tells it in a more funny way, so go and watch him doing that. But that is a good representation of dancing around stress. So instead of reacting automatically, becoming angry, or just ignoring, or just running away, you go there and you can allow the stress to go just through you, not touch you, and then respond in the way you want to respond to that. And it doesn't mean passively, it doesn't mean non-protectively, but it means in a very unpredictable way, maybe. The way you, from the core, would like that to be solved. So normally by now you'll be like, you've been talking for like, I don't know, 15 minutes non-stop. Will you show us how to do that? So yes, there's a short meditation you can practice that will help you to slowly get into that mode of responding. So right now, I'm quite sure if you never practiced that before, you will fail when you try that to do in a stressful situation. You will automatically switch to automatic reactions. So I advise you to practice that short meditation I will show you right now, and then slowly apply it to very, very mild stressful situation. So like when you're just a bit stressed, a bit scared, a bit angry, just slightly, and then creating that space slowly, and then you will be able to apply it more in a stressful situation. So even now, after practicing a long time, I'm quite comfortable applying these skills in a medium stressful situation, but like when it gets really, really stressful, sometimes I just switch to my automatic reactions. I get angry or scared or something, and it takes me a few minutes before I get in and kind of switch back. So there's a different practices to apply this dancing way of stress. Some of the practices called STOP acronym or RAIN acronym. The one we will practice we'll call 3-step, 3-pause, 3-minute, 3-part meditation. So again, sit comfortably. So make sure your back is straight, make sure you're sitting comfortably, make sure your shoulders are relaxed. And the whole practice will take 3 minutes. At first it will probably take me 5 minutes to explain you, then you can practice it 3 minutes, and after a few weeks of practicing, probably can shorten it to like 1.5 minutes. So it's like 30 seconds for each part. So you can close your eyes. And step 1. So becoming aware of all the sensations and everything that's happening around you. So becoming aware of the way you're sitting, the sounds and smells and temperature of the room. Becoming aware of the breath, of the thoughts, of internal processes, of emotions. Especially when you use stress, you can just label those emotions. I'm angry, I'm scared, I'm stressed, I'm anxious. Maybe noticing the main thoughts that you have there. Or there will be a deadline next week, and that's why I'm stressed. Or some person said something unpleasant to me. Someone hurt me, so I feel hurt. So making like for 1 minute, just becoming aware of everything that is happening right now, right here. step 2. Imagine that your attention is a light that you can move away, a spotlight. You can make it very wide, very narrow. Now make it very narrow and move it to one point in your body where you feel the breath very strongly. You have trouble finding that spot on your arm, on your belly, on your chest. And feel that expanding and contracting feeling. And then focus only on the breath in one particular area. Only on the physical sensations. Breathing in and breathing out. If you get distracted by those thoughts, emotions, or other sensations, gently come back to the breath. Just 1 minute of just breath. Then, step 3, expand your attention to the body. Standing or sitting or laying down. Breathing. Add sounds and smells, temperature of the room. And then open up to any thoughts and emotions. To open up to everything that is right now. Not what was there 2 minutes ago, but what is here right now. Some people compare this step to waking up and becoming aware of whatever is here. And if you're still stressed, that's okay. We're not seeking to remove the sensations. We're seeking to create the space for you to respond in a different way. Becoming just aware of how it is. And maybe also becoming aware of how you want to deal with this particular situation. And then gently finishing this exercise. And closing or opening your eyes. So this is a very short 12 or 3-minute meditation. So you can actually write 3-minute meditation on YouTube. Look for those that do not have any music or any kind of teaching to them. That's, I think, is more useful, especially if you write MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction. You can find the very short and classical recordings. So what you can do, you can even find your friends. So what we usually do on our sessions in a sports center, that we turn around to a person next to us and then ask that person to be our mindful buddy. And then we take each other's contacts, and once a day we write a message to each other. So I would write a message saying like one word, stop or pause or take a break or something like that. And when the person gets that message, the person would make this 3-minute meditation, whatever that, all within an hour when he has time. And when the person sends the message, he also makes that 3-minute meditation. So in the end, you will do it twice. So one person writes another person, he meditates 3 minutes, and another person meditates 3 minutes, and then other way around. I found it to be one of the most useful practices for participants across the board. So like, whenever I teach mindfulness groups, most participants say that this was that one meditation that was most useful to them. And it's especially useful when you try to encourage a friend to do it with you. So maybe find a partner, a friend, or someone who wants to try it out. And it's very easy to learn that meditation. And then after a while, you can do them on the go. So it can take you 30 seconds. So 10 seconds per step, or even less probably. and you can have that space that you need in a stressful situation. Most of the time, most stressful situations do allow those very short moments of when you can like think. Like a very advanced meditators, I saw a teacher doing that. He didn't do it on purpose, but I saw him just doing that before starting to speak to a big amount of people, and I saw the person still a bit kind of stressed. I think it's normal to be stressed. So what he did, he just took one deep breath. So it's like, and by that time you can see he already was collected and in the present moment and ready to proceed with the conference or workshop. I don't remember what was it. Okay. So we'll still have 15 minutes, let's say. So now we'll do a very short sitting meditation. So it's slightly for especially those people who were following me before. So for people who feel that they can sit for 15 minutes, you can sit with me, and people who feel that this is too much for them can call it a day and have a productive day. So for those who want to try, again, sit comfortably. You can lay down if you want, but be aware that you might fall asleep. If you're sitting, make sure you're sitting straight, your back is straight, your shoulders are relaxed, your hands can be on your legs, on your lap, any way is comfortable for you. If you're sitting on cross-leg, make sure there's some pillows under your knees, or you're sitting in the way that is comfortable for you to sit. Always make sure you're feeling comfortable. Feeling pain is not a goal of this meditation, or most meditations, I know. So sit comfortably. And again, you can just gently close your eyes or look down. And not block anything, but kind of limit the amount of sensation, so it's just easier for you to concentrate. I will do a very short sitting meditation with 3 parts. So part 1, becoming aware of the body. Maybe starting with, again, those sensations of contact with the pillow or the mat or the chair, any other surface. Then sensations in your hands, laying down on the legs or on your side. The contact between the legs and the surface beneath. And then we'll do a very quick body scan. So we'll just maybe start with your top of your head, focusing your attention on your head, on top of the head, and feeling all the sensations here. For more advanced students, you can try to focus on very small portions of the head and proceed scanning down in very small, as small as possible, parts of the body. Maybe feeling the one part and then another part. For people who are doing that first time, you can just scan the body very generally, maybe feeling top of your head and then going down, feeling the face, the ears, the head, the neck, going on your own rhythm and giving attention to different parts of your body. Just being aware of the sensation, physical sensation, in different parts of the body. And slowly kind of mentally scanning down. So it could be advanced students can do that on their own rhythm. Beginners, you can start with the head, go down, feel the face, back of your head, jaw, neck. Feel just the physical sensations. They can be pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, whatever comes. Shoulders, left hand from top to elbow and from elbow to fingertips. Right hand again, right elbow, forearm, hand, fingertips. Chest, upper back, lower back, belly. Might be thoughts coming up, and that's okay, just let them be in the background. Bring back attention to the physical sensations in the body. And down to the hips. And moving to your left leg, thigh, knee, and down to the feet, foot, left foot, and toes. And then move your attention to the right leg, and again going down, thigh and knee, shin, and the foot, and the toes. And then maybe feeling all the body together. Just sitting here, laying down here, standing here, with all the sensations in the body. Step 2. Now release the body from your attention and move your attention to the sounds around you. Noticing all the sounds. Both sounds close to you and sounds far away from you. Maybe in front of you or behind you, above you and below you, on the sides. Noticing the sounds as they come and go. Maybe repeat themselves. Pleasant and unpleasant sounds. And mostly neutral, probably. Most of them are quite neutral. And again, as with breath and the body, notice that your mind starts to do stuff. With sounds, it quite often starts to create storylines, stories and explanations and analysis of the sounds you hear. So you might say, oh, this is a car. Oh, this is a clock. Oh, this is that. This is this. When you notice your mind does that, realize that you're distracted from the sounds themselves. So then bring the attention back to the sounds, to the frequency and the loudness and the pitch of the sounds. No need to understand what kind of sounds there are. No need to listen to a particular sound. Just open up to everything that comes. make a step free. So for people who never did meditation before, maybe it's wise for you to come back to the breath and for the next few minutes, follow the breath. For people more experienced, try to focus on your thoughts. You can use the visualizations to observe the thoughts. So you can imagine the thoughts as on the surface of a river, and you just sit there on the bank of the river, not inside the river of thoughts, but on the side.